Let's start with a thought experiment. What if you thought about our global economy not as some inevitable force of nature, but as a piece of software, a kind of planetary operating system? In this explainer, we're going to pop the hood, see how that code actually works, and ask a pretty crucial question. Is it time for a fundamental upgrade? For most of us, the economy is just the background noise of life, right? It's our daily routine. You go to work, you buy stuff, you live your life. The system just kind of is. It feels so permanent, so unchangeable. But what if it's not? And that's really the core question, isn't it? What if the very logic that drives our global society, the one that feels so incredibly normal, is actually creating the crises we're all facing, from climate change to biodiversity loss? What if our entire system is just running on outdated code? To really get this, you have to stick with this idea of our economy as an operating system, because it has this sort of hidden code, right? A set of rules and instructions that are quietly shaping our world, telling us what to value, what to build, and just as importantly, what to ignore. Now, when we say algorithms, your mind probably jumps to social media or something, but think bigger. An algorithm is just any structured set of instructions designed to achieve a goal. And from that point of view, our economic and legal systems are these giant, powerful algorithms that have been shaping the world for centuries, all based on their core programming. Okay, so this is the crucial point, boiled down to a simple formula. Every economic system has a metric. That's just what it decides success looks like. Then the entire system optimizes for that metric, which in turn determines the allocation of all the resources, money, and attention. And that, of course, produces an outcome. This is the basic code running our civilization. So what happens when that core metric is flawed? Well, for the last few hundred years, our planetary operating system has been optimized for one main thing: financial profit. And that has led to some really serious unintended consequences. And this slide just illustrates the difference so perfectly. Over on the left, that's our current system, when the main metric is only profit and it's totally detached from any real-world impact. The entire system's logic becomes extractive. It just takes. But now look to the right. What if we just change that one variable? If the metric becomes something like planetary health, the whole system starts optimizing for completely different behaviors. It becomes about restoration, not just extraction. You know, when you run the code of profit above all, the outcomes are pretty predictable, aren't they? The system just naturally intensifies resource extraction, it rewards competition over cooperation, and it prioritizes those short-term gains over any kind of long-term stability. The inevitable result is something we call ecological overshoot, basically using way more than our planet can possibly sustain. And this brings us to the turning point. We don't have to throw the whole system out, we just need to upgrade its core logic. It's about a shift, a fundamental shift from an extractive mindset to one of reharmonization, bringing our human systems back into sync with the planet's living systems. What's so powerful about this is that it's not about going back to nature in some romantic way. It's about designing our cities, our supply chains, our entire economies with the very same principles that make ecosystems so resilient and stable. Principles like feedback loops, reciprocity, and regeneration. So this new operating system, it has a name: regenerative economics. And the goal here isn't just to be less bad or sustainable. No, it's to actively participate in healing and strengthening the social and ecological systems that we all depend on. It's about redirecting our incredible human ingenuity toward actually making things better. A huge part of this upgrade is recognizing that value isn't just one thing. A truly healthy system doesn't just measure financial capital. It has to measure the health of its natural capital, our ecosystems. It also has to value social capital, things like trust, and our human capital, like well-being and knowledge. Real success is about balancing all of them. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? How do we build this new operating system? Well, this is where some amazing new tools and technologies come into play, specifically designed to measure and reward what truly matters. It really works like a feedback loop. First, we need to be able to see what's happening. Using satellites and sensors, we can create this incredible planetary nervous system that gives us real-time feedback on ecological health. Second, based on that data, we create new metrics, moving way beyond GDP to track things like soil health or water quality. And third, we build new incentives to reward actions that actually improve those metrics. See, measure, reward. So how do you create those new incentives?
Well, one really powerful idea is something called a contribution token. The concept is actually pretty simple. Imagine a farmer who can prove they've restored the health of their soil. The system could issue them a unique digital token that represents that positive impact. It becomes a whole new kind of asset, where the value is directly tied to a verifiable act of healing the planet.
And this is an absolutely critical distinction. These tokens aren't designed for financial speculation like a lot of cryptocurrencies. Their entire purpose is to function as a recognition and incentive layer. They make those positive contributions visible and valuable, directly aligning financial rewards with ecological and social well-being. So let's bring it all together. What does a world that's running on this upgraded operating system actually look and feel like? What's the outcome of an economy that's truly designed for life? Well, in this world, profit is still a useful tool, but it serves a much larger goal of regeneration. Investment just naturally flows towards things like ecosystem restoration and renewable energy. We start measuring growth not just in dollars, but in the vitality of our ecosystems and the strength of our communities. Our whole economy starts to work with nature, not against it. Now, I know this might look a little complex, but it shows how all the pieces can fit together. Don't worry about every single detail. Just see that at the center, you've got this synergy engine that works to align everyone's incentives. It's supported by different systems for things like managing trust and reputation, or tools for governance. The main takeaway here is that this isn't just one single technology. It's a whole ecosystem of tools, blending ethics, data, and tech, all working together towards that one shared goal: planetary health. At the end of the day, this is really about maturation. It's about humanity transitioning from a kind of extractive adolescence to a truly regenerative adulthood. The goal is to build a civilization that's capable and frankly worthy of stewarding this beautiful, complex planet for all the generations to come. So we'll leave you with this final thought. For centuries, we've designed our economies to grow, often at any cost. But what if we just changed that fundamental metric? What if we designed our entire global operating system with a brand new prime directive, not just to grow, but to heal?